Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Siva Landra. I'm from Eden Boarding School in 11th grade. And today, on this occasion, I will give Islamic speech about Prophet Musa alaihi salam. Prophet Musa alaihi salam is the most commonly mentioned prophet in Holy Quran. Prophet Musa was born at the time Fir'aun, also known as Pharaoh. In religion, Islam, Musa alaihi salam is loved and respected because he alaihi salam is the prophet and messenger too. Muslims believe in all messengers of Allah Almighty and holy books which revealed on them. In Holy Quran, Prophet Musa alaihi salam is mentioned most of the time, and his story ranges in several chapters of Holy Quran. As we all know that messengers of Allah Almighty were sent to convey the message of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to the people of this world. Prophet Musa alaihi salam was also sent to the people of Israel to make them worship of Allah Almighty, and the holy which was revealed to him was Torah. In Holy Quran, Allah Almighty said, "Verily, we did send down the Torah to Moses. Therein was guidance and light, by which the prophet who submit themselves to God's will judge the Jews, and then the rabbis and the priests to judge the Jews by the Torah, for to them was entrusted the protection of God's books, and they were witnesses thereto." Quran Surah 5 ayah 44. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says that the story of Moses alaihi salam and Pharaoh in Quran is the truth. It is a story of political conspiracy of operations that knew no bounds. In Holy Quran, it is mentioned in this way. We recite to you some the news of Moses and Pharaoh in truth, for a people who believe. Verily, Pharaoh exalted himself in the land and made its people sect, weakening, oppressing a group, children of Israel, among them, killing their sons and letting their female lives. Verily, he was of those who commit great sins and crimes, oppressors, tyrant. Quran Surah 28 ayah 3 until 4. Below we will describe the story of Musa alaihi salam in detail, from the beginning of his birth, how he broke up in the house of Fir'aun, and other events of his life. When Prophet Musa was born, the Pharaoh was on the warpath against the Bani Israel. It was declared that all newborn boys would be put to death. However, Allah inspired Musa's mothers, as mentioned in Surah Al-Qasas, to suckle him, but when afraid for his safety, put him in the river without worrying and being sad, "Allah will certainly return Musa to her and make him a messenger." Hence, Musa's mother had faith in Allah and put the baby in a wooden basket, casting it into the river. The basket went down the river until it reached an unlikely destination. The Pharaoh, his wife, as mentioned in the basket went down the river until it reached an unlikely destination. The Pharaoh, his wife, as mentioned in Surah Al-Qasas, said not to kill Musa, as he may be of benefit, or they could adopt him. The wife of the wife of Pharaoh, Asiya, was a righteous woman, unlike the cruel and evil Pharaoh. By the will of Allah, Musa refused to suckle the nurse that Asiya summoned. Musa's sister had followed the basket and quietly joined the group of servants. It is mentioned in Surah Al-Qasas that she asked if they would like her to guide them to family that will sincerely look after his upbringing. Thus he returned to his mother. Henceforth, the baby avoided the wrath that the male infant of the Bani Israel endured. True to Allah promise. Thus, this episode contains a crucial lesson from Muslim that of always having trust in Allah. Things may not always be as they seem, as we need to trust His wisdom. Whatever He decrees for us has a benefit. A short while before Prophet Musa was born, Fir'aun was told that a boy from the Bani Israel would soon be born, and at whose hands Fir'aun's kingdoms would be destroyed. On hearing this, the cruel king ordered his soldier that every male child born to the Bani Israel should be killed. The soldier of Fir'aun periodically searched the houses of the Israelites so as it to carry out Pharaoh's order. Musa alaihissalam mother had prepared a plan for him. That what I said earlier. When she heard the approach of the soldier, she took Musa alaihissalam out in his basket and placed him in the river Nile at behind of her house. In Holy Quran, it is mentioned in this word. So we send this inspiration to the mother of Moses. Suckle thy child, but when thou hast fears about him, cast him into the river, but fear not nor grieve, for we shall restore him to thee, and we shall make him one of our messenger. Quran Surah 28 Ayah 7. The basket in which Prophet Musa alaihissalam was put in by his mother floated towards the palace of Fir'aun, where his men fished it out and brought the baby to him. He wanted to kill it immediately, suspecting that it might be a child of the Bani Israel. But his wife Asiya, who was a pious woman, stopped him by doing so. They didn't have children of their own, so she asked him to adopt the child. Fir'aun agreed to his wife Asiya's request, and then called some women to feed the crying children. Yet the baby refused milk from all the women who came to feed him, except his own mother. In this way, Allah Almighty rejoined a mother and child in the palace of Fir'aun, who was the greatest enemy of her son. Prophet Musa alaihissalam grew up in Fir'aun's home and was familiar with the state affairs. When he alaihissalam reached adulthood, once involved in a fight between an Israelite and an Egyptian, result in killing the latter recklessly. Prophet Musa alaihissalam went to the Madian, where he married Safura, daughter of the Prophet Shuaib alaihissalam. After staying some time in Madian, he left to return to Egypt. On their way to Egypt in the severe winter night, Prophet Musa alaihissalam and his wife, where she was, and he went to the fire. thinking he would bring some of it back. When Musa alayhi salam reached near the fire, he saw that the flames were coming from a green tree, but there was no one present. While Prophet Musa alayhi salam looked around in surprise, he suddenly heard a voice saying, "Oh Musa, I'm your Lord." The voice then asked him to throw his stick into the ground. At once, it changed into a serpent, which scared him. Musa alayhi salam was then commanded to lift the snake without any fear. As he did so, it changed back into a stick, and then he was told to put his hand under his armpit. When he drew it out again, his hand glowed with a bright light, like a sun. The divine voice said to him, "O Musa, these are the two great signs of your Lord. Go back to Fir'aun and his people and invite them towards your Lord." After getting these signs from Allah Almighty, Musa alayhi salam went to the Fir'aun and told him that he alayhi salam is the messenger of Allah Almighty, for that he has proofs. Musa alayhi salam threw his stick on the ground and it changed into a snake. The miracle frightened Fir'aun, and he turned to his ministry of advice. They told him that Prophet Musa alayhi salam was just a good magician, and that their own magician could easily perform such tricks. Then Fir'aun called all the great magicians to his court, so they could do the same tricks as Musa alayhi salam did. When they were told that had to be done, they were not worried. They threw pieces of rope on the ground, and these cords began to wriggle like snakes. But when Prophet Musa alayhi salam cast his stick down, his serpent ate all the pieces of rope. The magician immediately realized that this was no magic, but a miracle, and prostrated, saying, "We believe in the faith of Musa." Allah Almighty told Prophet Musa alayhi salam to warn Fir'aun that he would punish him and his people if they continued in their ways and don't accept your faith. But Fir'aun was too proud to listen to the warning. So, for punishing him and his followers, the country was hit by famine. Swarms of locusts ate away the corpse. The river Nile flooded its banks, causing great destruction. The people were affected with lice and tumors. When all of this happened, that people rushed to Prophet Musa alayhi asking him to pray for their relief and promised to follow his religion. But when they were cured and the situation improved, they returned to their idol worship. Musa alayhi salam gathered the people of Bani Israel and left for Palestine. When Fir'aun learned of their escape, he followed them with a huge army. When Musa alayhi salam with people of Bani Israel reached the Red Sea, they saw Fir'aun approaching towards them, and were sure they were going to be killed. Yet Prophet Musa alayhi salam struck the waters of the sea with his stick, and the waters parted, making a dry path. The people crossed safely. When Pharaoh saw the path, he entered the sea at the head of his army. But while he was in the middle of the sea, the waters suddenly closed around him and his men. In this way, Pharaoh and his army drowned and died in the river. The story of Musa show in Surah Al-Ahzab, Allah wants the believers not to follow the path of those who abuse Musa. For all his struggle, Allah described Musa as one of who was distinguished in his sight. Therefore, he was one of the noblest messenger of Allah. The repeated mention of Musa in the Quran testifies to his importance. The story of Musa shows us the importance of always relying on Allah. He is the best of planners. It also teaches us that Allah is Razak, the provider. Without Him, we would never be able to sustain ourselves. Most importantly, the story of Bani Israel shows us how believers always have to undergo good trials in this world. In response to this trial, we must always remain steadfast and believe in His ultimate wisdom when the trial is averted. We should thank Him and be grateful for His blessing. And above all, we should avoid the fate of the people of Israel, that is, the fate of the people who show no gratitude. I think that's all for me about Prophet Musa alaihi salam. I hope this speech can be useful for all of us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.